Chandler dated like a Mediterranean woman. Sure. Ross dated Julie, but
in English, they really like expanded their demographic with the
Emily was as ethnic as Friends got for the first 6 seasons.
Yeah. Brunch, hit it, boys.
We're in hot water again.
Are we?
Yep.
For what?
We stay in hot water. We was it you or Ryan who put together that little Instagram thing?
Oh, it was me.
Nice, good job.
Thanks.
You put together a thing of our review on of what was it? Tag. And it was just clips and quotes, and it was very good stuff, but it was over ridiculous, and there wasn't actually audio of us, so all it was just the audio of ridiculous. And I don't know how they do these. It just must be an automated thing, because we've certainly got 1 million from Imagine Dragons, which is like, your thing has been taken down because it contains this song and you didn't pay for the rights, blah, blah, blah. And we got that with Ridiculous, which I know that it's for any song that's like someone owns and should get money for. But if it's for Ridiculous, like, that's
ridiculous.
Kyrie Irving's making a solid living on his day job.
Right, like, I need to know who lost in us playing that for free. Because if it's the other guy that's on the track, cool. Let's make sure he gets his money. If it's the guy who produced it, cool. But if it's like, hey, you're taking food out of Kyrie's mouth, get out of here.
As far as the detection goes, I'm sure it's like a Shazam thing,
right?
Basically,
or a Pied Piper thing.
Ooh,
original Pied Piper.
Yeah, original, not the like, Chinese Pied Piper.
Like a wide diaper Pied Piper.
Okay,
episode 1 Pied Piper. So, I wanted us to still be able to use Ridiculous because it's the song of the summer and it's great. So I went about making Raydiculous, which is just ridiculous, done by Ray Romano. But that shit was super hard, and I was going to have to make a whole new instrumental track because it was a hard song to strip the vocals out of. So this is me saying I didn't do that.
You
but
fucker.
Maybe on Monday's episode or on Friday's episode we'll do it. The reason I bring this up is because the only interesting thing I learned in trying to make this was, so in that song it goes, this is ridiculous. So I want to find actual audio of Ray Romano saying this is ridiculous.
I'm sure he said it at some point during like the 8-season run of Everybody Loves Raymond.
So here's the thing. I went through the scripts of this movie. I was going to go through the scripts of Everybody Loves Raymond, find a time where he says this is ridiculous, look up that episode, grab that audio, bam, you got like this is ridiculous kind of thing, and it was going to be awesome. This is ridiculous has been said so many times in Everybody Loves Raymond.
None by Ray Romano?
At least once by Ray Romano. It's not great.
Ray Barone, sorry.
Sorry, Ray. This makes sense. It's almost 99% of the time said by Debra.
Nice.
Which any scene that she's in would absolutely make sense for her to say this is ridiculous. She's a nice, loving,
a straight man
normal
in that show.
Person. Is not out of her mind, doesn't intentionally live across the street from her parents, whole shebang. So the little findings, a lot of Everybody Loves Raymond is Debra saying this is ridiculous. But yeah, he does say it once.
And the other half of Everybody Loves Raymond is Raymond saying this is ridiculous about lemon pepper chicken.
Yeah, how many times is he going to make this shit?
How many times he's going to eat it?
Because he liked it the first time she made it.
Oh, really? Is that why?
That was like their first date. She made him lemon pepper chicken, and when they did like the flashback to the first date they were on, she's like, "Oh, I'm making you dinner," and he's like, "What are you making?" And she says, "Lemon pepper chicken," and he's like, "Oh, that sounds great." And there's the laugh track that's like, "Ooh, if only he knew." Pretty soon, it's gonna be the
course of history.
It's gonna be nothing but lemon pepper chicken.
Is Everybody Loves Raymond on Netflix?
No.
No?
It's not on Netflix. I don't think. If it is, then I went through Daily Motion.
Oh, really? Because
we've
been discussing the potential return of a specialty week
yeah.
for a show that we want to talk about for 5 straight days, and I think Everybody Loves Raymond would be a fantastic choice for that, because I'm sure that there are so many fucking ridiculous plot lines in that show that would be so much fun to discuss.
I would argue that it's better than the show that we're thinking of doing, because
I do too.
The show that we're thinking of doing and the show that we've done, Friday Night Lights, that's been done a million times. I don't think anyone's totally sunk their teeth retroactively into Everybody Loves Raymond. And that would be hilarious, especially because my one takeaway when I look back on Everybody Loves Raymond now, having not seen an episode in a million years, is that one of the punchlines is, and his brother's really depressed. He's divorced.
Yeah, he's very yes. He's divorced, very depressed, lives at home. That's a punchline.
Yeah,
and then I think I remember that like another punchline is that like the kids might be gay, the twins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like not they might be gay, but like they're feminine.
He's like worried that they're becoming girly.
Yes,
that's certainly a thing of that times
era.
Then. Yeah.
I could be remembering wrong, but I believe that comes up quite a bit.
You know, one of my favorite moments in Everybody Loves Raymond is, other than when he does like the dick walk. That's
an iconic moment.
That has changed my life.
Now you just do it.
It gives right. It's my go-to move. It's my go-to move. Well,
Ryan Gosling from Crazy Stupid Love has what's it called? The move from Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. Yeah.
The lift. You have the sex walk. What is it even called?
It's just called the dick walk.
The dick walk.
The dick hands. Giving her the dick hands. Yeah, but it's like, should we take this to the bedroom? Yeah, I'll be in 1 sec. You go ahead.
Let me get a little more comfortable.
Up. Yeah, right. And then they're like, ooh, wonder what kind of number D just slipping into. Even though I'm in the bedroom, all the clothes are in here. What could he be doing?
He's putting on a pair of boxers that are 3 times too big so that he can stick his arms through the legs.
He's changing into boxers. He does not wear boxers, but somewhere around the apartment, not in his bedroom, he's got some boxers stashed away for him to change into, and then he walks in and goes, and I think that didn't he steal that from a kid?
Yeah, it was the basketball.
Yeah, he saw a little kid do it.
And he saw his own kid do it.
Really?
He was running up and down the court with his fucking arms
right.
through his basketball shorts.
And he's like, "Well, I'll tell you what I ought to do, kid. I ought to work this into my sex life with your mom. I'm gonna do exactly that, and then fuck your mom right after. Good job, son." That's the weirdest shit in the world. But one of my favorite moments in Everybody Loves Raymond, other than the iconic dick hands, is the episode where I think Debra wants to do a healthy option for Thanksgiving or something, right? She makes she doesn't do a real turkey. She does like a tofurkey type of thing, and nobody will touch it, and everyone's being super rude about it naturally because, A, it's a bad idea on Debra's part. Not that tofu is bad, but
Tofu's
to give
dope.
people who didn't ask for tofu that. Actually, it's similar in a non-racist way to remember when the woman was making wings, the cooking show lady was making wings for the guys, and but instead of buffalo wings, it was like an Asian sesame wing or something. And I think the surprise was she was just going to say wings and then surprise them with it's a different type of wings, and it got real racist real fast.
She said the O word, didn't she?
Oh, really?
I think so.
Well, I know it was in her presentation.
Yes.
Like overall, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea to be like, hey, would you like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And then it's like a different type of jelly than you'd normally use, and be like, ooh, now you're going to try something new. But I think that she was like, I'm going to throw you off guard with this racist little thing that I'm doing. Anyway, so she made tofu stuff for people who didn't want tofu, so they were all sassing her. Also, they're assholes anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And no one will touch it. And then finally, the father, wasn't it Peter Boyle?
Yep.
The late, great Peter Boyle says, can someone pass me the carving knife? And Debra goes, thank you, Frank. And before she can finish saying it, he goes, I'm going to slit my throat. Such a great thing to say, especially in the company of your depressed son.
Yes. And small children, I assume, because it was Thanksgiving. Always a hit to just make killing yourself jokes in front of the kids.
As I was pouring through some of those episodes, because a lot of the script, it didn't say who said this is ridiculous, so I'd have to actually watch the episode just knowing that at some point someone says this is ridiculous. So I was like skipping around, and one of the episodes was called What's with Robert? And it's when he's dating, what's the girl's name? You know, the girlfriend that he has on the show?
I don't remember her name.
Right. Very, very nice woman, kind of his guiding light, his beacon.
Yes.
And I forget what, her worry is, I think like he's not having sex with her, so she thinks that he's gay. And I was like, oh shit, they also worked homophobia into this series. And it was like a lot of, I forget, what was so funny about it? She's like, he didn't sleep with me or we didn't sleep together for like the first month that we dated or whatever. And then Debra makes some sort of judgmental comment of like, well, you have slept with Robert. So the fact that like you've slept with him at all, that's a stupid relationship you're in.
I feel like Everybody Loves Raymond is a show that's 98% about not having sex.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that.
It is like every episode is just Ray complaining about Debra not having sex with him.
So,
except that one episode where she does have sex with him.
She agrees to, and then who knows if she wants to after the.
And then he ruins the mood with dick hands.
I think they fade to black as he walks in.
No, except the one episode where she is going to spin class.
Ooh.
And her spin class instructor is like this big old hunk. And she comes back home from spin class, and she always wants to have sex with Ray. And Ray finds out about the spin instructor, and he's like, she's envisioning me as the spin instructor, and he like protests her wants to have sex with him. And at the end of the episode, she's like, God forbid I come back from spin class and feel good about myself and want to have sex. And she makes him feel bad, and she shames him for jumping to that conclusion.
Well, I think that Ray, like,
back to no sex for him.
Here's some relationship advice for Ray. Just like, whatever. It's a long marriage. It's a long relationship. I'm sure it's certain points you both are attracted to other people anyway. Here's the thing. If she's pretending that you're somebody else, you can pretend that she's not doing that. Pretend that she's like just extra into you right now. Bam.
Also, like,
that's what the podcast should be. It should be giving couples advice to Debra and Ray. In most cases, the advice will be, Debra, just leave Ray.
Yeah,
you have a hot spin instructor.
It's also like Ray Barone, spends so much time complaining throughout the run of that show and the duration of that show. Would he really give a shit if his wife was envisioning that he was somebody else? Because that dude is a sex maniac who just wants it any way that he can get it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you raised that point, because I was thinking about like, what are the bad qualities of Debra? Because I was thinking about why she's always saying this is ridiculous. It's just because she's among these people. But I'm like, she's such a good person among these crazies. She's a good mother. She raises 3 children, essentially, the twins, and her...
No, there's 4 children because there's a daughter.
Yeah, that's right. What's her name? Allie?
Yeah.
Yeah, she raises 4 children because... her husband is a fucking child.
Technically, like 6, because Robert's over there all the fucking time, and Frank is over there, who is like a petulant child.
Yes, while dealing with a bully.
Yes. And what's her name?
Marie,
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like, big credit to Debra for even agreeing to live across the street from Marie.
Well, I know some couples get into like the, ooh, should we live here? Should we do this? Yeah, how bad can it be? And...
that's a pretty good example of how bad it can
then,
be.
like, once you're in it, you're like, oh, hi, Marie. Every day, huh? Gonna keep coming over with better food than I make. Marie is, I love Marie. Huge asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Total asshole. And she went from that to accosting, what was it? Guys on the elevator in
yes.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, God.
But anyway, I was thinking about, like what are the drawbacks of Debra? And the one that jumps out is, because it's the biggest complaint that anyone makes about her on the show, is that she doesn't fuck Ray a lot. And honestly,
no shit.
I don't see that as a huge problem. I'm like, if I'm married to Ray, he doesn't deserve it. Yeah. I will sacrifice my sexual well-being to make sure that guy doesn't get sex, because he doesn't do dick around the house. And then he's like, I've had a long day of golfing. Aren't we going to have sex now? Like, I'd be like, yeah, get out of here, Ray. But I think that characteristic of Ray is a big, that's kind of symptomatic of a lot of guys his age. Like middle-aged guys who are married are always like, oh, we don't do this. We don't have sex anymore, blah, blah. At what point in a man's life does he go from the young man who talks about how he has sex way too much to then you get to Ray,
the middle-aged man who talks about how he doesn't have sex too much?
Yeah. When does that? I'll tell you that the middle is quite blissful. Don't have to talk as much.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if that show was made now, Ray would have like cheated on Debra in season 3, in season 2 or 3. They would have just been like, all right, so he's complained too many times. We're throwing in a cheating storyline.
And when does Ray have a midlife crisis? I feel like it's as crazy as it is, right? That show can't afford for him to have a midlife crisis because you've got Robert going through a lifelong crisis. You've got Marie going through just the worst situation a person.
Fourth out of 4 crisis.
She's near the end. A most of her life crisis. Honestly, for as wacky as Ray is, I feel like if you threw in shit he doesn't know how to feel about his lot in life, that show would really it would just become so bottom heavy.
Yeah, and it would also be like, all right, so if he was happy with his life before, then why did it seem like he just wasn't trying for like the first 4 seasons?
Is Ray happy, do you think?
Yeah, I think with like most aspects of his life.
I think so too. I think that that he's happy with his job because he doesn't have to work. He
doesn't have to do anything. He coasts off the Cal Ripken column for like 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's just like a simple man. If he could have sex like 2 more times a week,
yeah,
would be happy.
I honestly think if he could have sex 2 more times, he'd be happy. The way he talks about Debra, they have sex they have birthday sex for one of them once a year. Or either that or they have birthday sex and they both have the same birthday. So they just have sex once a year.
No, they just have anniversary sex.
Anniversary sex.
That's
Got
it. But like there's no way that
I wouldn't want to have sex on my anniversary with Ray because I feel like he'd be such a clumsy
there's no way he has good sex.
Anniversary, Valentine's Day, shit like that, or like the big kind of pillars. That's where you want to see the romantic side. And even if you don't have the romantic side, if you've got the kind of goofy, crazy side. Then, like Phil Dunphy in Modern Family. Have you ever seen those Valentine's Day episodes? He gets into character and he becomes like he's not this super romantic guy, but he's such a goofball that I'm like, oh yeah, I bet a girl want to fucking go nuts on that shit. I don't know that Ray has either of those.
No,
things.
Ray's anniversary gift to Debra every time has to be enlisting another guy to actually please her for once in her life.
That's actually. Yeah, but if he's so uptight about the she's thinking about somebody else, there's no way that he would actually. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I know that there was some infidelity with Debra's parents. I wouldn't hate Debra cheating on Ray. Lord knows she deserves it.
We should do like a fan fiction situation where Debra sleeps with Robert, and they're both like they're each other's saving grace.
You know what the nightmare scenario is? Debra sleeps with Robert. Ray files for a divorce, and they're probably going to give Ray custody there, right?
Yeah, because you get custody, I think, if the other the spouse is cheating.
Yeah, so everybody loses there,
and Ray kills all 3 kids in like 2 weeks.
Yes, yeah. Look up the song, the Rake song by the Decemberists. That's Ray singing about getting his children. Yeah, that would be awful because Ray, A, wouldn't be able to golf all day anymore. B, he doesn't know how to cook, would not know how to feed these kids. But I guess if he's trying to kill them, then it's not that big a deal. Anyway, that was some good, heavy, strong Raymond talk to start the episode.
It's just a preview of the full week that we're going to be doing at some point.
I don't know if we're going to make as good a points as we just made.
I don't know either. Speaking of relationships that are fucking weird as shit, we have not discussed Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
It makes me. I feel like a very.
I'm kind of glad we haven't, but I'm ready to.
Yeah, same. I'm very uncomfortable by the whole dynamic, and it sort of makes me feel like a skeptical parent because I'm in a situation where, like, I like both of these people. I don't feel too strongly about Ariana Grande or whatever, but like, I don't wish her unhappiness. She seems like a nice person. I think she deserves to be happy. And like, I really like Pete Davidson. I would love for him to be happy, especially with all the shit that he's been through. Mm-hmm. But like, so I'm rooting for them, and if they're happy, I'm happy for them. But also, like, fucking slow down a little bit. You're worrying me a little bit here.
Yeah, this is basically this is Ross and Emily on steroids, and
except they're likable characters.
Often one of them is a very likable character. I often wonder if Rachel had really been out of the picture, would that relationship have been fine? Because Emily turned into a fucking nightmare once the Rachel thing happened, but you can't blame her at all. I wonder if they would have maybe made it, in which case they'd be like Lena Waithe and her girlfriend, where it was just like they knew really quickly and then just bam,
locked it down.
Yeah,
but I don't know with the Emily situation. That I'm kind of curious now, just because like she has some severe insecurities. Like where she wouldn't let Ross hang out with Rachel at all.
Yeah.
And like I feel like she got like, I think she overstepped a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so I think those sort of characteristics come up eventually.
Yeah, she was driven to be a nightmare, which I guess we should bring all these three things into the pot now, because one of the things we were also going to hit on was the idea of going to an ex's wedding.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Now this is just becoming like a couples therapy episode where we play the therapist. Usually we're the couple.
Yes.
And so, but the Pete Davidson, Ariana Grande, the update on that is that they just moved into a $16 million apartment in New York City together.
Very confusing how a $16 million... Oh, they bought it. Okay.
Did they buy it? I'm not sure about that.
Well, I don't know.
I know that it's valued at $16 million.
Oh, okay.
So they could be renting it, which I hope that they're either renting it or that one of them bought it outright and the other one is like going in on it.
Well, they're both celebrities, but boy, is there a clear breadwinner there.
Oh, yeah. It's 100% not Pete Davidson.
Yeah. Like SNL doesn't pay. I like Pete Davidson, but I'm kind of waiting for him to be very good.
I
feel like he's not been good yet.
Yeah, like his biggest thing is that he's likable.
Right. He just seems like,
he's rarely on SNL. I don't know if he does a lot of writing or whatever for them, but there's not a lot outside of SNL that like I'm like. I think actually the best thing that Pete Davidson's ever done is roasts.
Yeah,
like the Bieber roast was really good. Like I think that's the funniest material that I've seen.
Have you ever seen him live?
No. Have you?
Yeah, and he was fine.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
And it was on 9/11.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did go to that comedy festival.
It was the
thing, right?
oddball thing. It was the first time I'd seen Anthony Jeselnik. Tons of 9/11 jokes. Pete Davidson, whose dad died 9/11. It was a very 9/11 heavy 9/11 that year for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, my favorite joke that I've ever heard Pete Davidson say is Justin Bieber's dad makes me glad that my dad died in 9/11.
So fucked up.
But so fucking funny.
Absolutely terrible. Speaking of terrible, bad, cringeworthy things, we got some people reaching out over the spoiled thing that we discussed in Tag last episode, and really made me think about it. I thought it was very surprising that they put that joke in there to begin with, but when you think about how commonly that happens... It is crazy that they put that in, knowing that it's going to like fuck up a lot of people watching it.
Right. That is a real like devastating thing that happens to a good amount of people.
Yeah, like if there's a good chance that if a married couple goes to see that movie, that they're gonna like not. Like, they're just going to be speechless for a little bit.
And it's going to be very awkward and very uncomfortable. I was thinking about it as well after we got some feedback, and I realized that like obviously that's a tough thing to joke about, and I'm I'm like an advocate for joking about difficult things if it's funny enough. And again, I think that a big part of that, and I said it in the review, is that there was no real like heavy relief moment after that thing. But also, like, I find that a difficult thing to joke about because there is no coming back from that.
Yeah.
Because like you can joke about cancer or whatever because some people beat cancer and it's a thing that you can come back from.
Oh, true. Yeah, something as final as that.
Yeah. And that is a completely 100% final thing that if it happens to you, you've experienced the worst thing that can happen in that situation.
Nobody has a good you-know-what story.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's why the more I thought about it, the more I was like, man, I cannot believe that they did that.
Now, this is weird to ask now. Do you, having now let the movie set in for a few days, do you feel the same way? Do you like it more? I
definitely don't like it more, but I don't think it really changes my overall opinion of the movie. Like, it is, I would... knowing like the feedback that we've gotten since then, which if you haven't listened to the episode, you can go back and listen to it. We kind of did like a spoiler thing, but knowing what I know with the feedback that we got, I would disclose that to people
before they go
while giving the recommendation. Yes.
Yeah, that's actually a really good call. Yeah, in the days since, I've just more been like, because the movie has kind of stuck with me, just in that I really can't believe that it made some of the jokes it did. Not in like a how dare they, and certainly if you feel how dare they about that joke, then by all means. But I mean,
but just like why would you?
I can't believe it's so massively surprising that
like you had this great thing.
Yeah,
why'd you got to do this?
And it wasn't in like a spiteful like, oh, you want to be PC? We could do whatever we want.
Yeah.
For example, this, and this. It was just, I don't know. It's like, I guess it's like seeing a comedian and being like, wow, so this comedian makes those kind of jokes. Okay, good to fucking know.
Yeah.
So if there's a sequel to that movie, it's set a horrifying bar.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I'm glad you brought that up because that was worth circling back on.
We'll jump to some movie news in a second, but let's quickly hit on the ex wedding thing. That was a story.
Yeah, well, not a story, but like a discussion. Because, or I guess it was a story because it went viral on Twitter that some guy was invited to his ex's wedding, and he got the RSVP card, and it was, here, what song do you want to play? And it was like, I Loved Her First.
Yeah.
And so that was interesting.
Which, just going to jump in real quick and say, you sure as shit ain't getting a save the date or an invitation to my wedding that says something like that. Do you think I'm going to fucking focus group the music selection at my fucking wedding?
Oh, yeah. I do think it's weird when...
Hey, you're not going to hear what you want, but if you did, what would it be? Maybe if you have a wedding someday, I'm judging people who aren't getting married when I'm not getting married.
You should do that. You should do that. You should include that on your cards, and then the people who send in like shitty songs revoke their invitation.
That's not a bad idea. Or
you're not going to appreciate the songs that I play at my wedding. No wedding for you.
You know, it'd be funny to make a thing like that says like, "What song would you like to hear at the wedding?" And they write it in, and then just at the wedding, there's like a mural that's made of like, here are songs that people like. Like Pete likes Ridiculous. And then people are like, it's like halfway through the reception, you haven't played any of these songs. You were just
it's just a judgment board.
Yeah, just asking, just learning a little bit about everybody, what songs they like. Now, please continue to listen to this way better curated playlist.
So I guess like the overall discussion that was generated out of this viral moment was whether or not you'd be down to go to an ex's wedding.
My thing was, and this will take us back to Ross and Emily, is...
as everything does.
That as long as... I thought that it's pretty clear with, like, exes, past lovers, that we're cool or we're not cool. Meaning, like, we're cool to, like, I've got this going on, you've got that going on, and we can totally get along, and we're amicable, and we're great. Or there's, like, we'll always be a little sensitive about it. So just for everyone's sake,
don't bring it up.
Let's just not be in the same place. So I thought that those lines were pretty clear, but what about Ross and Rachel when Ross got married to Emily? Because there was no doubt in his mind. I know that he had to really think about it because of Emily's shit. Actually, no, there was doubt in his mind as to whether to invite Rachel, but it seemed pretty obvious. Like, you're not together, you're marrying somebody else.
One of your best friends.
Yeah, and she's one of the most important people in your life.
And you only have like 5 friends.
Right, true. It's going to be the smallest fucking wedding in the world.
It is wild that group of people had fucking 0 friends.
Oh, well, whenever they had parties and they would, like, add 3 black people, like, you fucking racist asshole show. Get the fuck out of here.
Gunther would be there and be like, we all know you all fucking hate Gunther. Why are you at your party? You're just putting bodies in that apartment.
Would you invite to a party a creepy guy who's in love with your girlfriend and your girlfriend wouldn't consider him a friend? Is there any reason for you to have him at that party? They had so much filler at those parties, and they seriously would. They would use it as an excuse to get whether they needed more women, whether they needed more black people, Asian, anything. That's what they would do to round out the whitest show in the world.
Yeah, that was they didn't introduce like
which is so not an excuse.
What is like the first main black character in that show? Like what, season 7?
Charlie, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like that's Ross's love interest, right?
Yeah, but does she start with Joey?
Yeah,
she starts with
like
Joey,
that.
And then he grabs her, and then Joey's like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure she's the first major like black character in that show. Wild.
Did any of them? Were there no significant others?
No.
Chandler dated like a Mediterranean woman. Sure. Ross dated Julie, but
English. They really like expanded their demographic with the
Emily was as ethnic as Friends got for the first 6 seasons.
Yes. So like I have on this wedding discussion, I have like exes on both sort of sides of the spectrum where like I hate some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not hate, but like I have no interest in associating with them anymore. And then I have ones that I'm like really, really cool with still. And honestly, I'd probably go to both weddings.
Yes, I would. It would really take a lot. Like I would have to be super just not over it in order to go.
Right? Yeah, I think that's the only reason why I would never like go to a wedding like that is if I would be hurt by seeing that person get married.
And I know that happens a lot, which must be a fucking nightmare. Just like watching somebody that you still care about marrying somebody else. But yeah, I think as long as I weren't
interested,
like totally still interested, and like maybe, because
I would go to a person's wedding that I do not like an ex that I do not like, because it's a wedding and I like weddings that much.
Right, exactly.
I think it would have to have an open bar. Mm-hmm. That is a big part of it for me.
Yeah.
But like I'm gonna go there and have fun, and I don't give a fuck that person's getting married. So what's the skin off my back?
Yeah, I really think it is as simple as that. And this kid could obviously laugh about it that he did. Like,
right, yeah.
I loved her first.
Obviously, and like I would have to imagine that he might have a relationship with her still, and like maybe her fiance, because that would be a sort of bold move to do.
Well, that would be your way of saying, no, you motherfuckers, I'm not coming.
You don't think that he's going to the wedding?
No, I do. I'm saying that, like, unless he were friends with them, then
like,
you don't write that down.
Yeah, that's like a dig.
What I would do, he had a good idea that he didn't really round out. What I would have done,
I Hit It First by Ray J.
Right, so I would have done something like that, or I just would have done something
going
super
with I
sexual,
Loved It First,
and then in parentheses like our song.
Yes,
when you're smiling and astride
our
me,
song,
our song.
like
memories.
Like throwing like a love reference in there is a little bit borderline.
Yeah,
because that's saying like I'm still. There was love.
I would write like. Love when we fucking with each other by me and her, a song that we wrote together about ourselves.
I would have put ridiculous.
Yes.
Our love is ridiculous.
Now I have to make ridiculous, but that was... So sometimes it's... You don't care. Nobody cares. But sometimes it's easy to take a song and kind of EQ the vocals out of it, so then you can just put shit over it. I do it a lot with Thunder stuff.
Okay.
Take a song, get rid of the vocals and then toss in thunder. But some and just more recent songs are hard to do it with. And Ridiculous, I had like 25 minutes to try to throw it together. I just couldn't do it. So I think I'm going to have to just like rebuild it from scratch. But I think that if it's going to be a song of the summer, then it's worth having around. So that
Song of the summer, baby.
Maybe I'll make the because there's a rap verse after it's featuring somebody, Lunchbox somebody.
Yeah.
And there's a rap verse. Maybe I'll like just replace the rap verse with like Peter Boyle just saying shit. Speaking of Ridiculous and Kyrie Irving, this is the NBA draft special.
Yes.
Because we're about to watch the NBA draft. Isn't that special?
So we buried the lead for about 35 minutes of this episode, but a piece of news that we have to discuss is AMC and MoviePass are in a fucking war now.
And I gotta say, so let's explain it. So we'll give the newer news. No, the first bit.
Let's give the first bit of news first.
AMC is making their own MoviePass, and it's $20 a month, and you can see 3 movies a week, including repeats of movies. And Stephen A. Smith voice. You can sign up well in advance.
Yes, you can. Well, you can book your tickets in advance. You can book your tickets in advance. You can book your tickets online. You can. I believe that you can also do specialty showings. Like,
I think so. You can do 3D and shit like
IMAX,
that.
or not, maybe not IMAX, but like 3D and all that junk. So yeah, $20 a month, 3 a week. They don't roll over. So like if you only do 2 in 1 week, you don't get 4 the next week. You do 3 straight, which honestly, that is a very good deal. And also you get it goes towards the AMC Stubs program, so you get rewards like for concessions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is that's kind of a big deal too, because if you're going to the movies a lot, then you get basically a little bit of money back.
There is seriously only one drawback to this, because price obviously is not it. Price is awesome. We were saying that we would do $50 a month for MoviePass.
The one drawback is that you can only go to AMC movies.
Right. That is that you're limited to movies or
movie theaters.
Okay, yeah, that you're limited to that theater. And honestly, I was thinking about it. I was like, because I have Apple Music and Spotify. What if I just did both and I kept MoviePass for if I'm out of town, want to hit an Alamo Draft House, or if I want to go to Showcase Cinema. But I mean, around the big cities, you can get an AMC anywhere.
Yeah,
and I mean, and as the big chains go, AMC's the best. It's just very, you know what you're getting. It is
the Cadillac.
Very
of movie
few
theaters.
Active rats. Yeah, it's just. I would say it's the Acura of theaters, or like the Infinity of theaters.
Why do you say that?
Because better theaters are Cadillacs. Because you could find some like really bougie ass theaters.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if Alamo Draft Houses are considered better. They're considered cooler.
That's like a Tesla of theaters or something.
Yeah, it's just like the weird modern
like
thing.
You don't find many of them, but when you do, you kind of have to go for a test drive.
Yeah, and you can't tell yet whether or not it's even that cool.
Yes. Yeah. So the AMC rolled that out, and once they did that, did you see MoviePass's response to it?
Yes.
Oh, very salty.
It was
very, very childish response.
It was a Donald Trump tweet.
Yeah, basically. So they tweeted MoviePass. This is from the official MoviePass account. After the AMC news broke, heard AMC theaters jumped on board the movie subscription train. Twice the price for 1/4 the theater network and 60% fewer movies. Thanks for making us look good, AMC. And then followed up, AMC has repeatedly disparaged our model as a way to encourage. As a way to discourage our growth, because all along they wanted to launch their own, more expensive plan. We wanted to make movies more accessible. They want more profit. Which I found that response hilarious.
That's the Trump tweet.
Why?
That it's like, oh, this is why you did this, because you're blah, blah. Like, you don't fucking know. This is their response, and they did a better one than you. Shut up, MoviePass.
Yeah. I also like the fact that their response is like, they only want to make money. It's like, yeah, because they're a business.
Right.
They're a good business who makes money, and you are fucking idiots mad online because your plan is so fucking dumb that you are bleeding money out of the ass.
And you want to know something, MoviePass? You're going to feel a little betrayed right now. You know what the consumer wants? For AMC to make money so AMC can keep doing this shit. So AMC will be around next fucking week.
That's why we've been rooting for you.
I've been losing my hair reading all these fucking things day to day on how MoviePass is going to be gone, then I'm going to be schlepping my ass to the theater, spending $90 a month on tickets. I want my ticket thing to be sustainable and good. I'll pay more if it means it's going to be around.
Yeah, they're like, twice the price. How outrageous. And we're like, bitch, we've been saying we'll give you 5 times the money if it means you stay in business.
You know that they're going to respond now by being like, all right, you have to take 2 pictures of the tickets, and it's now $5.
two pictures of the tickets, and also one of those pictures has to be you urinating in an AMC theater.
Yes.
Or else it does not count.
And now you just have to give us $1. So, okay, do that. That's their... So, they're fucking dummies. I mean, I feel very relieved now because this is a wonderful
super relieved
option.
Because this is a great plan B, which eventually might turn into my plan A. I'm already thinking about making the switch. I'm locked in for a year. So
Tables have turned, my friend.
Yeah, so once my commitment to MoviePass is up, I'm pretty confident that I will at least consider making the switch over to AMC, just because there's more stability there.
Yeah,
like I feel like MoviePass is I don't want to say panicking, but they are really searching the bottom of the barrel.
They're circling the drain at least. Yeah,
right. In terms of finding a way to stay in business, and like I'm willing to double my payment because it's going to be worth it no matter what. And I just feel like there's more stability and there's less chance of having like the rug ripped out from under me from AMC. And I go to AMC most of the time anyway, so that's not a big deal to me. So there's another piece of MoviePass news that came out today on Thursday, and that is that they're implementing surge pricing, which means that they could add on additional fees to movies that are popular and movie times that are popular, which is...
I think I wouldn't...
Fuck that.
Well, that's another kiss of death. That's like when they say that when a bank starts to add like a yearly fee or something like that, when there wasn't a yearly fee before... That's like the first sign, like, ooh, this bank is fucked, because banks don't just if things are going well, they don't just ask their customers for money. This is that.
Well, that's we've known this about MoviePass forever.
They need to make money some way.
Right. That's the thing. The thing about MoviePass is not a sustainable business model because they're not fucking making money. And if this is the way that they're going about making money, not ideal. I'm fucking out.
I will say this though. I'd be surprised if it impacts us.
Because we go to the movies at fucking bizarre ass times. The way that the way that it might impact us is the movies that are popular.
Right. So for example, today's Thursday. During the day tomorrow, we'll go see Jurassic Park, and the time probably wouldn't be prohibitive, but the fact that it's a movie on opening day, maybe they'll jack that up. In which case, I'm not spending an extra however many dollars. Although I'm excited for Jurassic Park, but that's a bad example.
We're going to have a Jurassic Park episode on Monday, by the way.
Yeah, Monday there's going to be a lot of the dinosaurs.
A lot of dinos.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's why I think that it would be more geared towards the movie than it would the time, because people who have MoviePass go to the movies a lot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it doesn't make sense for you to have MoviePass. I guess it does if you go to like one movie.
Right.
So, but like, I would assume that a lot of people who have MoviePass go to the movies a lot. And people who go to the movies a lot, I feel like go at weird times. Like they just go whenever they can.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's a person who hits 2-3 movies a week and
goes like 7 o'clock showings.
8, yeah. I remember when I saw Whiplash the second time. Because the first time I saw Whiplash was like normal for me, like a noon showing, 1, 2, something like that. Pretty empty theater, can really experience it just by myself.
It sucks going to the movies when there are a lot of people there.
And then the second time I went, it was with my sister and brother-in-law, and it was like a 7 p.m. showing, full theater, and I'd seen the movie, and the crowd was laughing at parts that I was like, you're not supposed to be laughing at this. Wait, would people have been laughing if this were a full theater when I saw it? And I was all fucked up because I was like, wait, people think that J.K. Simmons' character is funny? I think I just got a bad theater because they were
problematic.
They were loving that's not
the
your
abuse,
boyfriend's
the
dick.
child's
Yeah.
abuse.
Yeah, they were like, oh, classic. Those were the days. Oh, good times. Yeah, so my thing is I should feel bad about being very willing to jump ship with MoviePass, but MoviePass, I've known from the beginning, MoviePass and I were just using each other.
Yeah,
I know that MoviePass, that's some bad motherfuckers over there.
Yeah, exactly. Like MoviePass is a small market baseball team, and you're a superstar. You're a superstar in the making. Like you love that team. You are you're really grateful for the things that they've done for you and for
Let me shine.
For letting you shine. Exactly. But you know that this isn't the destination.
If I can go get security with AMC,
Yes.
I'm getting that fucking security.
Yes, exactly. So one part that kind of worries me a little bit is whether or not, as somebody who's locked into MoviePass, I should say, that worries me coming down the stretch here is that if this new plan from AMC, if that impacts MoviePass's relationship with AMC moving forward.
Yeah, like if AMC will finally be able to get out of MoviePass.
Right. If they're like we don't want to participate in this.
Well, that would be the way to get everyone to. I mean, I'm sure everyone already is going to jump over, but this will be really the way to fucking shake out the last couple drops.
I wonder why, if there is sort of a thing that makes them stay with MoviePass, because otherwise, I don't understand why they would.
Because they're still getting that money from the MoviePass purchases. So like when you go and you swipe your card, AMC is still getting $12 or whatever. Yeah. So like
and they get concessions and shit like that.
Right. So they'll still take that money. But yeah, I mean the MoviePass guilt money is something that they probably don't want to get away from. Because I go in there and I spend like fucking $90 every time I go there. I bought a fucking pizza last time.
Yeah.
That was a good pizza.
Yeah. And I also think that it might be sweeter for AMC if they don't pull out of the MoviePass thing and they just let it fucking die. Because it's heading that way. It's like you said, it's circling the drain.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit sweeter if AMC just lets them die and says like, hey, we stayed with you and you still couldn't do it.
Well, that's kind of like what Ray Kroc did to the McDonald brothers, where he gave them back their he gave them back their original McDonald's. And he was like, all right, here you go. Yeah. And then he opened a McDonald's across the street.
Yeah.
I don't think he actually did that, but that's what he did in the movie. If you haven't seen The Founder.
The Founders is the most problematic movie in the universe because it is all about how evil McDonald's is, and the only thing that you want to do after watching that movie is eating a shitload of McDonald's.
That's right. Like, yeah, if someone's like, "Ooh, tell me about The Founder," you'd be like, "Well, it really takes a look at the dichotomy between good and evil in man." You're like, "Oh, because this guy did so much with the Ronald McDonald Foundation, and also he screwed over these people." It's like, no, because you see the worst person in the world for 2 hours, and then all you want to do
is support him by eating his burgers.
Give his beneficiaries as much money as you can.
They really did fucking make hamburgers look sexy as hell in that movie.
When he eats the first one and he's like, "This is the best hamburger I've ever tasted," I was like, I fucking believe that, man.
Watching that movie and watching them make hamburgers in that movie felt like I was an 8-year-old who just saw boobs on screen. I was like, fuck, that is the best.
8-year-old seeing boobs on screen. What was the age at which you understood like why your boners were happening?
I don't think I got a boner until I was like 12.
This. Really?
Yeah, I was a late boner guy.
I think I was doing boners for as far back as I can remember, but I just never, could never piece it together.
Oh yeah, same. Like I think that it happened. I didn't really fully piece it together and understand why it was happening or even what was happening until I was like 17. You were such a small child that you couldn't
tell the difference between your flaccid penis and popping a bee. Check out this, speaking of MoviePass ticket situations, check out this fucking genius move that I pulled. I wanted to see Casey Musgraves on Monday. She was opening for Harry Styles, and here's what I did. Me and Adam Hart, we went on StubHub, bought tickets behind the stage for $9. They came to $14 with fees.
Okay.
Kind of tough. And before the show, I went on StubHub and looked at the most expensive tickets, the ones that were selling for the highest, knowing that these things are going to go off sale in like a half an hour. So and with all these other tickets still on sale, there's no way these super expensive tickets are going to sell. So then got in with those $9 seats, and went and sat in those seats, and it was fucking great.
That is a fucking scheme and a half.
Yeah, I had a full note in my phone. I'd written down like 5-6 different sets of seats where we could have sat. And
I've never thought of that, but that is pretty fucking brilliant.
It felt so great. The only tough part was someone actually did buy the tickets, and right at the end of Casey Musgraves, they booted us out. But it was I've never been so happy to be like, all right, fine. They're like, hey, you got to go. I was like, sure, fucking shit, I do.
Did you respond with a hey? Last minute purchase, huh?
Yeah,
that would have been a real creepy thing to say.
Well, there were a lot of creepy things I could have said there because it was nothing but fucking children there.
Really?
It would
because it's Harry Styles.
There were adults. There were adult men there for Casey Musgraves, and there were child girls there for Harry Styles. And I'm looking at this sea full of like child.
Is Casey Musgraves like an adult man audience?
I think like an
that
old
surprises
guy.
Me.
Like,
oh, really?
Well, because like she doesn't necessarily rock, but like she plays like a very druggy brand of music, and that appeals more, I would say, to like a man in his 40s or 30s than I don't know, like a teenager. Like
yeah, for sure.
If there's like teenagers who really dig Casey Musgraves, then they're either taken by the fact that that she's just a very cool package. She's cool as shit, very pretty, like smokes weed and shit like that. That you're just drawn to that. But as far as music goes, I think that if you like the Stones and shit like that, you're into Casey Musgraves. Okay. Like if you go to Dead and Company, you like Casey Musgraves.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was great. She was so awesome. I love her. Did you ever get into that album?
Yeah. So I listened to. I don't know if I've listened to the entire thing all the way through. I listened to like the first half, and then I went back and I listened to that song "Rainbow."
Yeah.
That you suggested to me.
Did I? When did I say that?
Because you wanted the merch that was
right.
Musgraves with the rainbow on it.
Yes.
And so you basically like just brought up the fact that she has a song called Rainbow.
Yeah.
And I think you said like Feels City or something like that. I went back and I listened to that song for the first time, and that song is awesome.
Isn't it?
It's really, really good.
Because I like had a moment watching her play that song.
I was listening to it and I was like, this is a song that would sort of not really hit you until you saw it live.
Right. That's it's like Father John Misty fans will like Rainbow because it kind of addresses the same thing, but in a less depressed way. It's just like singing to a sad person being like, hey, you understand that we all see you as this beautiful person and you're having such a hard time and we hate that that's happening, but just so you know, from our perspective, you're fucking beautiful, baby. And it's the last song on the album, and I was listening on vinyl a couple weeks ago. Oh,
is it? It's the last song? That is a strong finish.
So it's like, I'm getting chills just talking about it. It's like I'll leave you with this kind of song. And when albums close on an I'll leave you with this.
I'm a huge fan of albums ending on a really strong... I also really like it when they end on like a different note.
Yeah.
Where it's like, here's something different. Just because it's the last song on the album, I'm allowed to kind of do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm giving you.
Yeah, like here's like the closing credits kind of thing.
Yeah. Speaking of closing credits, we never actually mentioned. Did you stick around for the tag closing credits?
The guys playing.
The guys, the cast singing.
Oh,
it's
no!
Just their heads. It's like their heads around the scrolling credits, and they're singing an original song.
Really?
Yeah, it's wild.
So it's like a decapitated Bollywood kind of thing?
Yeah.
Nice, man. That's Guess we're gonna have to go back and see it. I will warn anybody who hasn't seen it yet, though. There's some shit.
Well, the sky is finally open. The rain and wind stop blowing, but you're stuck out in the same old storm again. You hold tight to your